Hello, everybody. It's June 26th of 2026, and we are 4.5% of the way along the Farlands, where apparently there are spiders everywhere. We last left off at 91,820.67 megabytes on the world save size.
Glory to you.
The real Sarge
and your house.
waited for this perfect moment to send their 15-month resub through, so I appreciate it. I'm gonna hope you have something else to send through to let me know you're ready. That would be your woofs. Woof! And zombies. Woof and zombies. They're gone. It's fine. Oh, that's wood. That's dirt. Let's secure the Heidi Foal, grab the dog, and continue north. As we do now on what is seemingly a weekly basis. Not exactly as expected. I didn't say I didn't warn you. What with the full-time employment? Let's try to get around this mountain, I suppose. But yeah, we just, this morning, did a little short morning stream. One Cone Dodger invited us to reclaim the reins in PUBG Repo Man, where we collected many a car. I think our top score was 7 cars in one location before we all got murdered and or got pushed out of the circle. So that was fun. I did have to reinstall the game. And the game still wants me to, like, play the tutorial before I can play the actual game. Which is nice for somebody who has 276 hours of playtime according to Steam in it. Is Repo Man also pacifist? No, Repo Man includes sharking and doing what you need to do to defend your inventory of used automobiles. Just like real Repo Man, exactly. Well, that was fun. Ooh. 4.51%. But yeah, I am tired. Starting work every day at 6:30 a.m. is a real treat. Let me tell you. Sleepy, sleepy days. I have placed 525 moth traps. And I'm not even done with my zone yet. Although yesterday was different. In that we took a little field trip. Me and, like, my local group of moth trappers and supervisors. The customs department needed help searching a delivery of brand new automobiles. 900 of them that were parked at the port having been delivered from a vessel that, while in Japan, was positive for the spongy moth eggs. They have their own procedures there in Japan before sending ships out. So they eradicated what they found, but once docked in the United States, for due diligence, they wanted the cars checked as well. So we got to go onto the port, where there's gigantic acres worth of parking lots for the new cars that get delivered. And we looked at a bunch of Mazda CX-5s. I fathom, is that the word? Hazard to think why there are so many Mazda CX-5s being delivered to the United States, and how many people could possibly be purchasing Mazda CX-5s. I didn't have that much information. We learned about it on Wednesday, and we didn't have that much information about, like, the ship or the cargo. I was hoping it was, like, a delivery of, like, you know, imported 25-year rule enthusiast cars. That would have been very interesting for me. But no, it was just brand new Mazda CX-5s. There was one Miata that was also there that I checked. So yeah, nothing was found. We spent 3 hours with a mirror on a stick, as if we were searching for bombs, but we were searching for moth egg masses. Looking in all the nooks and crannies. Like I said, 900 cars. I think there were 7 of us, and then 5 of the customs agents looking. We found nothing. I did find a D. I found a D on the ground. A D from the AWD badge on the back fell off of one of them. Not by me, but just in the course of being delivered there. And I put it in my pocket, but I might have lost it. I lost my D. So that was certainly interesting. That was a different change of pace for everybody. Although it would have been nice to, like, work together and be able to, like, have a conversation, but it was like, once again, okay, you get this row. If somebody gets this row, so we really didn't, there was no coworker interaction. Anybody that saw you must have assumed you were looking for bombs. I mean, there were, the longshoremen were like, I don't know what, I didn't see what they were doing. I think they were, like, taking off the tow bolts that were on the cars and putting them in buckets. And this older guy asked me what we were looking for, and I tried to explain it, and he's like, oh, I never saw you guys here before. Usually the customs, like, boards the ships and checks the ships. So I think this was a kind of a special situation to just check the cargo. What I assume happened is that this ship had the infestation of the moths prior to being loaded with the new cars in Japan from Mazda. So by the time the cars got put on the ship, like, the moths had already been gone and laid their eggs on the ship. There were no more to lay the eggs in the cars. Not that that couldn't happen, but it could. But yes. Uneventful, but good news that we didn't find anything. Basically, they were saying if they did end up, like, finding any, we'd have to take a sample, and then that specific car would get quarantined or cleaned or whatever. But if there were, like, more than X amount, they would have shipped the whole shipment of cars back, which would have made nobody happy. I mean, it would have made the customs people happy. They seemed very, they liked their job in that their job was making other people angry. That's the kind of people who work for Customs Border Patrol. The one thing I did learn, like the interesting thing that did happen, is we all like carpooled in together, just following the border patrol, border control, import, whatever they're called, customs people in their own cars. And like I said, it's like acres and acres where they park the cars that just get off the import ships. You know, it's as if it's like an airport taxi and runway and what's that called? Terminal. Just the amount of pavement and parking spots for thousands and thousands and thousands of cars. The people who unload the cars from the ships, I'm assuming they get paid per car. Because as we were leaving, they started unloading another ship with more Mazda CX-5s. Mad people. Absolute insanity. Highway speeds. Bombing across these parking lots to park the new cars in order. 70 miles an hour. Zipping in and out of the entrances and exits. Not stopping for no one.
I don't know what to say. I'm touched.
You're both touched.
Vroom.
Vroom indeed, IndieJ. Thank you for 77 months in the subtub. Yeah, that was shocking and surprising. Because we were like, our escort that let us in there, like, was on lunch when we were done and leaving. So, like, we just left. But, like, we had to, like, give a wide berth. Or gotta unload them before the bombs go off. I was gonna say, if any of these cars did have the moth eggs on them, they probably flew off. Just by the speed at which the longshoremen drove the cars from the ship to the parking spot. Just the wind and G-forces involved. And then behind, there's like, I don't know, maybe 8 cars in a group, just fast and furiousing their ways to their parking spot. And then a van, like a cargo personnel van, following as fast behind, where when they park the cars, they all get back in the van and then speed back to the boat to then get the next bunch over. So if you've ever bought a car that may or may not have traveled overseas, just know that its first 2 miles on the odometer were driven at 75 miles an hour through a parking lot, screeching to a halt at great haste and haphazard. Before it ended up in your hands. Riddled with moths. May or may not be missing... If anybody ends up with a Mazda CX-5 with a missing D from the AWD badge on the back trunk, I've got it somewhere. Or I lost it. But yeah, that was madness. That's I did not know that. I mean, with so many cars, I suppose they have to do it with great haste. But I mean, the way the shipping and trucking and cargo industry is, I would not be surprised if they were paid by the car. You know, truckers are paid by the mile and other stuff like that. So I could see it. Did I hit them with my insider knowledge of the hit game Docked? What in the hell is going on here? There's this sugarcane's got a growth. I don't think I've ever seen this. Yeah, get in the picture, Wolfie. Nice hat. Bing. It's hard to, Oh, why? Just, why? It was fleeting. It was a fleeting moment. But we enjoyed it. But yeah, then it was back to installing traps. I would say yesterday was like the first time I didn't... I mean, I can't say I was like thrilled, but you know, installing traps is fairly straightforward-ish, if not a little bit of like a game or a challenge you could turn it into for yourself. But yesterday I got frustrated. I was in a neighborhood near our neighborhood, and there's train tracks. You got to try to put your trap in the middle of your grid squares. And I go like north south and make a squiggly line. But there's one road that's adjacent to a railroad track, and the railroad track was in the middle of my square, so all the streets like didn't go over the railroad track. So normally I could do like, if I don't have a place to put it, I can do like circles around like some of the neighborhood blocks and stuff like that. But I couldn't do that here, and the road was very busy, so I couldn't. It was impossible to like drive across the road or make a left turn. You know, when you're like waiting for a spot to sneak in, and just is not happening. And like nobody has any trees. All the trees are gone. So I just like started to get very frustrated. It's mostly probably because of the traffic, having to like wait at an intersection while people behind you like want to turn right or something. Yeah, that got my blood boiling for a little bit, where I was just like, screw this. This is dumb. It was all like it was the first kind of like cloudy, drizzly day yesterday too, which might have impacted my mood. Previous days have all been very hot and sunny. I also went through the port the day before that, and that's a depressing place. Not only are there barely any trees, but it's just like run down concrete jungle, garbage everywhere. Industry, shipping, progress, importing, exporting. There are some trees at a port. Usually, like, in the medians or, like, around the, like, office buildings of the various companies that are there. If you can get access. There's also a lot that is, like, behind fences. It's like, well, can't access that, so... Is it all scrap metal yards? Were like, there are a bunch of those, but, like, on the other side of the port, which wasn't in my zone. Some sort of airport, but a water port. Well, yeah, those have been my days. I'm I'm almost-ish done installing traps in my zone. I'm very it's weird there's like gonna be they haven't trained us on like the next phase, which is checking the traps, which I think is odd. They're gonna like have another training before we start the actual monitoring phase. I feel like, I mean, I know they want it to be like fresh in our minds, but I feel like it would have been helpful to do that all at once. I don't know how that would have changed my strategy for installing traps if I like knew the technique and requirements for checking the traps. Right, yeah. I mean, there is a procedure for if the trap is missing, if the tree you put the trap on is missing, if it's no longer accessible, or if it's like suddenly in a construction zone or unsafe. There is procedures for that. Which are apparently a pain in the butt. I accidentally, the other day, like, dyslexia'd one of my trap numbers, because you gotta manually enter in the trap number in the program. The GPS program. And it was like one of those numbers that you can just mix up easily, like 367. And I accidentally entered it as 637 and didn't realize it until after I hit submit. And, like, I can't edit it after that, so I had to, like, let my supervisor know, and they put in a change ticket or whatever. Could it be blown away by the wind? Shouldn't be.
Side sleep in.
Thank you. They are stapled to the trees. Or when not stapled, like using a paper clip to like twist tie them to the trees. The wind shouldn't blow them away, but a haphazard riding lawnmower or something of that sort. Wind does blow trees away. You just watched my video in Sweden with the game people. Nice stuff. It was well done, yes. I have my own video that may never see the light of day. No. They're talking about the Minecraft video. Oh, okay. Oh. I sink. I swim. Well, that was surprising. Yeah, I can see how I would have missed that. Good thing it wasn't lava. Thanks, Wolfie. Oh no, just keep doing that. Whew. Oh, my bread! I told you I gotta check my bread. Alright, hold on. Wolfie, don't get sucked down there. My timer is dinging. Alright, hold on. I must check the bread. And pause the recording. BRB! Alright.
Kurt is the bread check mama.
Apparently, the bread rose, the bread baked. I did have to run out to get yeast before I could make my bread today. My yeast is bad. It's dead. It died. It no longer bubbles. Which is pretty good, since I got like a 2-pound brick at Costco like a year ago. And it now just finally and obviously ceased to be. Thick as a brick, big as a brick. Beep, 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 beep. Yeast. I hope he ate that.
Timo Warner gifted a tier 1 sub to MYY East is rising.
MYY East is
1107
rising.
gift subs in the channel.
The East is rising. Rising in the East. Ooh, excuse me. Skeleton. Zombie.
Captain's log. Stardate 6051. Had trouble sleeping last night. My hiatal hernia is acting up. The ship is drafty and damp. I complain, but nobody listens.
We be 1, 2, 3 yippee.
123 months in the sub-tub. Thank you very much. Johnny Poco. Ooh, is there anything good in the Steam summer sale? Is the next fest over? The demo derby? We did not play that many games. I think it ended last Sunday. Weren't we playing last Sunday? Did I just get in under the wire? That one game seemed interesting, and at least well made. The, like, PS1 style driving racing game. Nostalgia, if you will. Yes, we did. Weepy. Your friend made clicker heroes. I don't know what that is. It was my my last day. Or no, it wasn't even my last day. It was when the girlfriend left the last job where I did work, but we're like kind of going away party. I was talking to our supervisor. I don't know if I'm giving away too much information now, but apparently their son makes video games, and I was like, oh, what video game? Oh, you might not have heard of it. Kentucky Route Zero. I'm like, of course I've heard of that. I've not played it. I've always wanted to play it. I think I even own it, but I just have never gotten around to playing it. So that was and it's like a small team of people who made that game. But I guess they're making another game or something like that. I don't remember how it came up. He's fine. Ko is mid playthrough. Interesting. I mean, if he wants, I can connect him with the mom of one of the developers. I don't know. At first, I mean, being in Seattle, at first I was like, I hope it's not Astroneer, because they're a Seattle-based the studio. Ah, Juno, what are you doing? Oh, I did not realize I made this hidey hole facing the Farlands, but I guess I did. That was kind of frightening, actually. I didn't expect that view. Yeah, we're still riding the high of seeing that grass on top of the sugarcane. Right? How about a sheep? A flying sheep in the Farlands. We're absolutely going to lose our minds if we see a spawner on the Farlands wall. Our proverbial nuts will be cracked. Nope. What was I gonna say? Oh, I guess on beginning of next month, the girlfriend starts her new job. A real job. Not one of these temporary gigs. So that's gonna be interesting, having us both gone for the day. What will the cats do? More like, what will Juno do? We might have to make some accommodations for this old bean. This old bean. Ooh, excuse me. Need my teeth. Hot. It's hot but good. Herbal. Herbal space program. Thank you for the random sub, Timo Warner. Also, next Friday is July 3rd, which is when I plan, or at least when I told them, told the charity that I would do a 4-hour charity stream. A little mini charity flobathon, but don't call it a flobathon.
I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top. I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth I will pop. I'm Mr. Bucket. Buckets of fun.
Now that's an old alert. That one was still swimming around in there somewhere for the 3 subs. Thank you, Timo Warner. You've gifted a total of 1,111 in the channel. Are we on our way to the corner Farlands? They're in that direction, so they might get in our way eventually. What was the game we played that had that? Was that in Forza? Or was that in like one of the demos we played? No, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It was one of the demos. Remember which one it was. Oh, was it in the driving game? The old timer. No, the like snow runner. Yeah, over the hill. That's right. Where it's like, okay, they know I played their previous 2 games quite early. So I don't know if that was actually a nod of the head to Farlands or bust, or it's just a a common turn of phrase. You know, like Astroneer suddenly putting stuff in the center of planets. Or going to the sun after I did just that. Or chopping a planet in half reference. I'm so beloved by the video games industry. I'll just assume. I will just bask in my assumed gratitude. One does not simply walk to the Farlands? Well, that one's kind of obvious. I'm pretty thankful that nobody from my work has made mention of any of this. I'm hoping to see how long that can last. I mean, it's kind of easy because we really work alone, but still. Ooh. Can Kurt eat a wolfie treat even if he's full of health? Yes, we actually, that was like the last stream, I think we confirmed that. Careful, sheep. Blorp. Spooky blorps. Well, there was a big cave down there, isn't there? This is fine. Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm glad it just broke the boat. Boat hand. Oh, what else is new? Oh, didn't they? Well, who knows how long Xbox will be with us. But they did announce a new Senua game. And then immediately after that, it came out that Xbox is looking to sell Ninja Theory after they purchased them after the first Hellblade game. But whether or not this third game ever actually exists is a real mystery. Well, yeah, like the head of Xbox abruptly left, and then they put like an AI manager into the job, a woman, so when things do fail, they can just blame a woman, as the industry do. And now they're making a bunch. One thing that they did change that I'm not a fan of, because we use the only thing we use the Xbox One that I have for is for watching television. But the startup noise, they switched back to the old, like they're trying to get people's nostalgia for the old Xbox, the original Xbox with like the glossy Web 2.0 logo. You know, the green orb with the X on it. But the startup sound is loud and alarming. Bring back the red ring of death, right? I don't know why those are the memories they want to drum up, but okay. That I don't like. Maybe there's somewhere deep in the dark recesses of the system settings where I could disable the startup splash screen, but... And of course, speaking of Microsoft, we now get an extra year with Windows 10, as they're finally realizing that trying to force everybody into Windows 11 is something that nobody wants. So they're extending the deadline, which was going to be of October this year, to now October 2027. This is your electronics and computer news with KurtJMac. Apple just raised prices on everything except their phones yesterday. Going great. Everything is fine and normal. It's all fine and normal in human land. What else is new and normal around here? Have any of my vehicles tried to harm my health again? What was the previous harm of health? I mean, everything, knock on wood, seems on the up and up. I'm just, like, simply not driving the Volvo. Don't you have the one that filled with exhaust? Oh, it always does that. That wasn't a new thing. That was, that's the Datsun. Because it needs a new exhaust. I mean, it's also, like, a common problem with those cars. Because of the way that they're shaped when driving at speed. It creates air in the background, in the back of the car, so that, like, the exhaust gets in through the back hatch. So it's only exacerbated by the fact that my muffler rusted off, and I just haphazardly clamped
Those guys had a long
straight
road
pipe
getting from
onto
there
it.
to here.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Is this the blame game I've heard so much about?
It
Kurt
is.
Cone.
It is. Blame Cone. And Armo.
Side sleep in.
Hummus Zaddy, thank you for 118 months. In the sub tub. Which happens to be the same tub as before. Same as it ever was. Well, that was unnecessary. He got it. Watcha. Oh, I think that should have hit him, but it like went out of phase. It like went out of the draw distance. The draw distance. My brain isn't working. Damn, that wouldn't have. Moo. Dang it. No wonder I couldn't shoot anybody in PUBG. Terrible shot. Clip, clop, clip, clop. You better spawn, Wolfie, with all this ice around. So, heard any good rumors lately? I didn't want to hit the wolf. Don't wolves get mad at you? Like if they're not tamed? Football. Yeah, we talked about that last time. I don't really I don't get the other than commercialism and capitalism and money and advertising. Why? on the surface, it's as seemingly as big of a deal as they want you to believe it is. Ah, iceberg! Oh! Oh, Wolfie, do not be under the ice. Okay. Was a real Titanic situation right there. Gotta get to 4.6%. Sun is setting. Hey, we did it. I can smell the bread down here. Well, isn't that a quaint picture? Damn it. Damn it. This means something. Oh! Oh! Ah. Aha! Alright. Such symmetry. I am going to need a new shovel. Could be a diamond shovel. And I guess let's make a boat. For good measure. Measure the boat. All right, let's go to sleep and back up the world. 4.6%. Oh, that was that was almost like if we got 9191919, that would have been neat. Wouldn't that have been neat? But instead we got 91,913.36 megabytes.